I'm Karen Dimmitt. I curated a show called Upstanders, which is artists who have channeled their social concerns into their art practice with the hope of taking that art that can reach across divides and connect with our shared humanity so that we can affect positive social changes.
Since 2015, I've been immersed in reading and collecting news documents and photos about the Syrian war, human and cultural genocide, the plight of refugees and immigrants, and the other horrors of our time. I normally do not seek subjects like this for my creative work, but the current human situation is so tragic, so appalling, that I can only draw on what I know of World War II and Vietnam or the Holocaust as grim inspiration. Add to that Civil War. Why do this? An artist and friend once asked me, "Why did you become an artist?" After some thought, I answered honestly, "To invent and to communicate. I feel I must step out of my usual subject matter. I've called these pictures my grim series, without the vibrant color I love, without the images of joy or beauty of landscape. I've turned to black and white and images of destruction, tied to iconic places. I hope my strong reactions will be communicated to those who see my images, and we will share these feelings together."
So here we are with Carol Crawford and her Grimm series. So Carol, tell us some about this work and where it came from.
Well, about 2015, I'm a news junkie, and it was getting to me, all the news about war, and that time there were a lot of the immigrants and escapees from North Africa and Syria and elsewhere, and the awful sea journeys and going on and on and on. And I began collecting news clippings and scanning them into my computer, because I do a lot of my basic, after my photography, I use stuff on the computer. I put things together with Photoshop, not to distort any reality, but to compose, to bring disparate things together to make a metaphor.
Why did you choose to engage this concern in your artwork?
It became way more important than all the other themes that I was working on at the time. I'm working on a show that's coming up in a year, and I couldn't leave it alone. And it got to be like an obsession, and I felt I had to do something about it. And I'm interested in community, and I also feel that art is the litmus paper for society, a great deal, and that artists can do a huge amount by bringing things to the attention of the public, either by creating a small riot or making people say, "Ah, yes, we hadn't thought of that. We didn't see it that way." And the two little ones were the ones I was fooling with first. And the views in the background are from a beloved spot in Maine. I mean, and it was also, I photographed over 40 years, a wonderful place we stayed on the Damariscotta River, and the weather changed hourly, and the tides changed hourly. So you can imagine the thousands of photographs I've taken over that period of time. So looking at those and thinking, the main thing was contrast. How we go to a resort, Phuket or something, right? And not too many miles away, there's the most god-awful thing happening. People are being blown apart and deprived of their homes. And these two disparate things are going on simultaneously. It's hard to talk. So that's what grabbed me.
Yeah. And so then the reason to do this, I know that you have answered people saying, why do you do this art? And one of the things is to communicate. So you've awakened to something, you've engaged, and you've transformed your process into images in order to do the same process to the viewer, to awaken them to it, to get them engaged with those issues, to try to mitigate the suffering, to transform the situations, to take responsibility.
I think it all has to do with connecting with the rest of humanity. I mean, as I said, I'm not a voyeur, and I don't want to see the grisly side of anything, but it doesn't do any harm to consider it. I do think that people are concerned. I do think people are trying to do something politically in this country. Many of them are. And I think wherever possible, they're searching for a way to connect.
I just want good time. Tortelloni.
All the time.